The machines in the ICU pulsed and sighed, like they were breathing on his behalf. My son's face was pale beneath the harsh white light, his skin so thin it almost looked see-through. The surgeon's words still echoed in my mind. His chances of recovery are minimal. My wife had stepped out to call family. She needed to keep her hands busy. I didn't. I just sat there, trapped in the quiet, every breath heavier than the last. When I reached for his jacket on the chair beside me, something slid out and hit the floor. A sealed envelope. My name written across the front in his handwriting. Dad. My heartbeat stumbled. I opened it, expecting something simple, an apology, a goodbye, maybe an I love you. Instead, it read, Dad, if you're seeing this, go to storage unit 142. You'll understand everything. Everything. That last word felt like a warning. I stared at him, my boy, tubes in his arms, the machines counting seconds he might not have left. 19 years old. Too young for secrets. Too young to sound like a man already planning for the end. I slipped the note back into my pocket and sat down again. The hum of the ventilator suddenly sounded louder. Something about this wasn't just an accident. By morning, the lights hadn't changed. Hospitals never do. I told my wife I needed air and drove to the address written on the key tag attached to his car keys. The storage facility sat on the edge of town, a row of metal doors lined up like coffins. I unlocked unit 142, the number stenciled in black paint, and rolled the door open. The screech of metal echoed too long. Inside, the space was almost empty, no boxes, no clutter. Just a single metal table. On it sat a black duffel bag and a neat stack of papers. The first page was a bank statement. My name at the top. Deposits I'd never made. Tens of thousands of dollars, spread across 2 years. My stomach turned. The next page was a photo. My son standing beside a man in a black suit. My son was smiling, but not the way he used to. It was a performance, a mask. Beneath the photo was a flash drive, taped to a sheet of paper with 3 words written in red ink. For when it's safe. I didn't feel fear yet. Just a cold, sharp awareness. The kind that creeps in when truth starts whispering from the dark. That night, I plugged the drive into my laptop in the hospital waiting room. The folder names were dated. Months of data. Videos, text files, GPS logs. He'd been investigating something. Or someone. One video showed a warehouse. Men exchanging envelopes, boxes labeled medical supplies loaded into trucks. Another file was a list of names, doctors, administrators, hospital staff. And one of them stood out. Dr. H. Morgan, neurosurgery, City General. My son's surgeon. It made no sense. Until I opened the audio file. Dad, if something happens to me, it wasn't an accident. They're laundering money through the hospital. Fake transplant donors. Dr. Morgan's part of it. I have proof. But they found out I was tracing the transfers. Then static. Silence. I looked up from the laptop, eyes fixed on the corridor leading to my son's room. The surgeon's office was just a few doors down. My pulse felt like gunfire in my ears. The crash, the timing, it wasn't coincidence. When Dr. Morgan came in later that night, I was ready. Any updates? I asked. He gave his usual calm smile. We're doing everything we can. But his hands trembled, barely but enough. His gaze flicked to the folder on my lap, the one labeled 142. You knew, I said quietly. He didn't reply. Just stood there, eyes searching mine, deciding whether to deny or run. He didn't know I'd already sent the files, every video, every transfer, every name, to every major news outlet in the state. By morning, the story broke wide open. Hospital fraud exposed. Surgeons linked to illegal organ trafficking. Dr. Morgan resigned within hours. Federal agents arrived by noon. My wife thought the timing was pure coincidence. I let her believe that. 2 days later, my son woke up. The nurses called it a miracle. I called it justice. He didn't remember much, or pretended not to. When I showed him the envelope, he stared at it for a long time before whispering, You finished it, didn't you? I nodded. We did. I never told him about the backup drives, the offshore accounts, The money I moved, half donated quietly, the rest sealed away under a name that no longer existed. Dr. Morgan's name trended for weeks, then vanished like all villains do when daylight burns too hot. It's been 6 months now. My son walks again, slower, quieter.
We don't talk about that night.
I don't ask, and he doesn't offer. The storage unit is empty, just dust, air, and the ghost of what it once held. Sometimes I drive past it. The number 142 still painted bold and black across the metal door. There's a strange peace in knowing that truth always demands payment. The surgeon lost his career. My son lost his innocence. And me? I lost the illusion that any part of this world is clean. Because when the truth finally speaks, it doesn't whisper. It waits. Cold, patient, and permanent.